Hey guys, what's up? Tyler here, and today we're going to be reviewing Acme Hole by Lloyd Barnes. Now, I know I've had this absence of reviewing videos for a while, and I'd just like to address that real quick. I've just been super busy with a project, and a lot of my team has just been busy, and we haven't really gotten together to go out and film magic performances or anything. Speaking of which, this video will not have a live performance included with it for a couple of reasons. The main reason I include live performances is that way you guys can see what magic effects look like out in the real world, in real time. That way you can make the most educated decision when making your purchases online or wherever you get your magic at. I try to put as much information into my reviews as I can without giving exposure out there, because my ethics is that exposure is negative in the industry. And it's really hard because I would love to show you everything that's wrong with the gimmick, everything that's wrong with the method, but I have respect for the magic industry, so even if I don't like a creator and I don't like an effect, I don't want to reveal what their methods or their gimmicks are. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys, but I try to give you as much information as you can before you decide to purchase something. So hopefully these reviews are helping you with your purchasing decisions, and hopefully they're helping you to save money here and there, because I know I've spent a lot of money on effects that I'll never use, right? One of which is change. Speaking of which, if I could change the score of that, I did not mean that to be a pun, but it ended up being that way. I would actually, a 6 out of 10 or a 6.5 out of 10, whatever I gave it, was way too high. At the time, I was so scared of offending Lloyd or offending illusionists that I gave them like these sympathy points when I do not recommend that effect at all. It is a complete cash grab. It is worthless. The only redeeming quality about it, there's very little. I might do an updated review, but it's like a 2 out of 10 or a 3 out of 10. Honestly, it's trash. But I digress. So we're going to go into Acme Hole now, because that's what this video is about. It's a 45-minute long tutorial, and what got me interested in Acme Hole was I saw one of my favorite stage illusionists, Darcy Oak. He posted on his Instagram, and I was like, oh, okay, this might be cool. So when you first start it, you see Lloyd talk about, oh, I created this effect, and since you guys demanded that I release it, I'm going to put it out here, and oh, this is because you wanted it. That's the only reason why I'm releasing this. That is just jargon. It's a load of crap is what it is, okay? Like, let's just be honest here. Let's be real with each other for a second. I fact-checked him on that. On the original post, at the time of this video, 4 people specifically asked him to release it. The rest are all like those Eric Caseys that you get on your Instagram page saying, nice job, man, or ooh, that's cool, or and giving you these likes, when I think it's just bots trying to get you to come to their Instagram page, right? So my criteria for this overwhelming demand was people specifically asking for it, because the rest just might be bots going, wow, that's cool, man, right? And then on Facebook, there was like maybe 2 more people that specifically asked in public. Now, of course, some people can always DM him or instant message him asking him to release it, but I don't think they would do that, because you can just leave a comment right then and there, and that makes the most sense to just ask him in public to release it. So we're only looking at about 6 to 8 people specifically asking him to release this. So I don't buy into the whole bullcrap jargon that I put this out because there was an overwhelming demand for it. I mean, Doubting Thomas, that didn't get like any publicity or any marketing or advertising, had way more sales than 8. That is not overwhelming demand, right? So what I'm trying to say here is he put this out as a cash grab, right? That's what Acme Hole is. It's $9. I do not think it's worth $9, and I'm going to explain why. I think it should be maybe about $5 would be the right price, but it's $9. It has no live performances in the trailer. nothing included in the tutorial about live performances. He says that he performs for people, but you just have to take him at his word, right? There's never a clip of him actually performing for people. And which brings me to my first negative point is this isn't practical for a real world situation. That's why there isn't going to be a live performance of this, among other reasons, is you would just get busted because the gimmick, the only thing in play is a card, so it must be a gimmick, right? Up close, they're going to see that it's a gimmick card. It's not going to be magical. And it not only is it gimmicked, it's severely gimmicked. Like, there's so many odd things that you have to do to a card, and it doesn't look normal. So people are going to see that right away. The only way you could perform this live is if you were at a considerable distance, like maybe stage magic or parlor magic, but this is only like a 20-second effect. This isn't like a full routine. So why would you perform it on stage? Like, maybe you can make a routine out of it, but this is just a quick moment of magic, right? It wouldn't make sense. So the only place that this would make sense is on Instagram or YouTube. You're not going to be performing this live. And I'm someone that wants real practical magic. I don't want an Instagram effect, right? And that's exactly what changes. And that's one of the key problems with Lloyd is he's releasing these effects that are specifically catered just to YouTube and Instagram videos. And it's driving me crazy because it's such a negative thing in the industry. I'm going to get into that later. I'm going to rant on that later. Right now I want to focus on Acme Hole. The other negative thing about this is you're going to have to buy a lot of extra stuff. And you're going to be destroying extra stuff. You're going to be having to destroy extra cards, right? So I don't think that's exposing too much, but you will be destroying cards. You will have to take a hole punch. He does teach you how to cut out a circle without a hole punch, but when you're performing this, if your hole that you can actually put your finger through is not perfectly circular, and then you take off a sticker that is perfectly circular, like, your audience is going to call you out on that. So you want something that's perfectly circular, so you need a hole punch to do this. Anything else, just, it's not worth your time. You will need other materials. I don't want to get into it because I'm already, on that border of exposure, and I just don't want to cross that line. You're going to be investing a lot into this effect, and it's not going to pay for itself because the only place you can do this really is Instagram. You're not going to be able to perform this at a gig, right? So it's $9 for this tutorial on how to make this gimmick. I will say this, though, the tutorial is very thorough. With how thorough he is in teaching, you're probably going to make a gimmick that looks exactly like the one that he does because he walks you through everything. Like, I will give Lloyd this. He is very talented at teaching. He's very thorough, very clear, and he goes through everything. So that's kind of why I will give this effect maybe a 4 out of 10, is just because the teaching saves itself. It's, maybe a 4 to 5 out of 10. But it's definitely better than change, okay? That's the point I'm trying to make. But we'll stick with a 4 out of 10 for the score. Other than that, Acme Hole just doesn't have any redeeming qualities to it. I mean, yeah, it's a great visual, it's creative, but you can't do anything with it. I would recommend getting this effect if maybe it was $5, and then you can use the rest of the money to buy the extra materials you need to perform this effect, and then use it just to promote maybe your Instagram page, if that's what you're into. If you're into Instagram magic or YouTube magic and you want something to kind of spice it up, I recommend Acme Hole to you once it comes down in price, because this is an immediate cash grab. It's so obvious that it is. And now I'm going to kind of get into this rant about the magic industry. And I don't want to single out Lloyd Barnes, but I need to use him to illustrate my point. Lloyd does not seem like he goes out and performs what he creates. He mentions in the video that, oh, well, I'm performing, but there's no evidence that he has performed this in front of live people. And if he has, why didn't he have them record it if he knew he was going to release it? It doesn't make sense. Like Change, it shows him performing at night, which is, I guess, the only place you could perform Change because he had specific lighting for it. But in the original trailer, like, there's no live performances. You don't see anyone on YouTube going out using Change, using Acme Hole, using Shimmer, using Iris in live performances. Like, you look at, like, Justin Flom. He will use Regeneration by Blake Voigt. He'll use Dress Code by Kaylin Morelli because they're practical. They work. They've been audience tested. Kaylin Morelli, Blake Voigt, and other creators that make the practical magic effects, they actually go out and perform. They know what it's like to go out in the field, what works and what doesn't work. They are actually out there working. I don't see Lloyd doing that. I don't see him going out and learning, well, how can I help the workers out there? How can I help what's going to work in real time? Lloyd looks at a camera and he's like, how can I fool people on Instagram? That's what it's coming across. Now, maybe he is going out there. Maybe he is going out there and performing, but the way he is creating magic, it does not look to be that way. And what about all this accountability of creating magic that people actually are going to use? I mean, when you go to Illusionist and they have their like list of rules for submitting a trick or whatever, and they make it seem like we only want the best of the best, right? We only can take the best effects, the best creations. What in the heck is Change? What in the heck is Iris? What is now Acme Hole, right? To the actual magicians that go out and perform, do you think they're really going to use this stuff? It does not reflect good on Illusionist as a company. And I know it seems like I'm ranting on Illusionist and I'm hating on Illusionist. My next review of an Illusionist product will be a review of a positive product, okay? I think it's going to be Ring Flight Revolution, and I have live performances of it and everything, so I'm not trying to hate on Illusionist. They have good stuff. I'm just saying, for Acme Hole specifically, where was that accountability? And I watched another video of Lloyd Barnes on his top 5 creative tips. Where is, and he's like, you know, go out without a deck of cards, go without coins, and just ask people, what do they want to see? No. Like, yeah, I guess that's a way to get original content, but find out what actually needs to be practical. Like, this is coming from an engineering mindset. Find out what is practical. That, and then release it. If it's practical, test it for a year. Don't just create it in a week and say, oh, it's ready, and put it on Illusionist. Go out in the real world, find out what isn't working, and fix it. And go over and over and over until it's finally ready. And I know there's a whole debate on when is a trick finally ready to be released, but I can tell you right now, it's not in a week when you have just created it. And that's what it seemed to me like with all the posts of like Acme was like, oh, I just came up with this, and hey, what do you guys think? And oh, you guys like it? Here, I'll put it out. No, that's not okay. Go out there and test it, and then refine it over and over till it works. Like the stuff that I put out, like Doubting Thomas and No Pressure, you see in my trailer, I go out and perform it for real people, and it works. It's practical and it works. The people that have bought No Pressure and Doubting Thomas have told me, hey, I like it because I can use it, and they tell me that they use it. And that is the magic that I want to promote, is real workable magic. And that is not what Lloyd Barnes is releasing. And this behavior has gotten worse. Because not too long ago, Lloyd released another video of something called Fissure, right? And it's where you have like a dollar bill. It kind of looks like Kill Bill, like something that was released on Penguin Magic, where you put like a dollar bill and you can see that there's so much obvious switching in it. And a pencil is basically stabbed through a card and a dollar bill. But upon my first viewing of it, I was able to figure out all of his switches and the gimmick he was using. And I just left a simple comment. I wasn't trying to expose anything. I was just like, hey, like I've worked on this, and I have an idea on how to do this without all the switching, to where you can still show both sides of the card and have them hold it, and the whole 9 yards. It'll be your same effect, only you don't have to switch anything. He deleted that comment as if he was offended by it. Lloyd is not looking for constructive criticism. He's not looking to better his effects. He is looking to make a quick buck. He is looking to just throw out a camera trick and call it a day and just collect the revenue from it. He's not looking to make something that's performable, something that is an actual moment of magic. He's looking to do something on camera. And we are encouraging that behavior by buying his effects, by buying change, by buying Acme hole, by buying shimmer, by buying iris, by buying all this bullcrap magic that he releases. We are encouraging this negative behavior of releasing magic that no one can use. And I know I'm ranting. This is probably one of my longest videos I have ever created, but I just need to get this off my chest because this is such a huge problem in the industry. And it just drives me insane that the people that aren't behind this huge illusionist marketing team, that, illusionists will be like, oh, we only take the best of the best. But then when it comes to Lloyd Barnes, they just polish it in a trailer and like, here you go, it's this amazing effect, and make a quick buck off of it. It just drives me insane. And it's encouraging this attitude that magic is on a social media platform rather than being a performance art. Now, there's a whole debate on that, but my belief is magic is a performance art and that it needs to be experienced with people, because people don't really care about magic. People care about people. And what we need to do as entertainers is go out and connect with them and use the magic as a tool to connect with them. But when we're posting these videos, we're just showing off magic effects, right? It's not really giving people an experience about people. It's just, here's a trick and this is what I can do, and give me a like, give me one of those artificial endorphin pumping hearts on Instagram or a like on Facebook. That isn't what magic should be, in my opinion. And by buying these effects and encouraging this behavior on Instagram by saying nice job, we are encouraging more and more crap magic products to come out, like Acme hole. Now I know I'm going to receive so much flack for this video, but I'm hoping that maybe I saved a few of you some money if you were on the fence about Acme hole. I don't recommend it to you unless you want it for your Instagram magic. But even if you do, wait for it to come down to $5, because you're going to be spending a lot of money on extra materials. And can we please, and even if you don't like my YouTube channel, you don't like my opinions, you don't like anything else that I put out, could you at least agree with me that we need to hold the magic industry accountable with some of the stuff that they release, like Sans Mines, like other Lloyd Barnes products, that they need to be held accountable, that they need to put out the best of the best. They need, if the rest of the creators, like you look at Michael O'Brien puts out workable material that he's tested over and over. He puts a very fair price on it, and it's stuff that you can actually use. But is he getting promoted by illusionists? No. Is he getting promoted by these huge companies? No. Why is his products not as good as what Lloyd is putting out? That's what I want to know. Why are products that can actually be used in a working situation, why can't they be as good as Lloyd's that are only good for camera tricks? That's what I want to know. Could someone please answer that question for me in the comments, because I'd really like to know. And hey, if you could do me another favor and subscribe, I got some other reviews that will be way more positive than this video in the future, in a lot less time consuming, probably about 5 to 7 minutes. And like, dislike, comment on the video. Anytime you interact with this video, it helps more people to see it. So just interact with it in some way, and it really helps me out. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.